we got a whistleblower. And apparently there are documents where Bernanke's staff tell him at the Fed, hey, you know, we don't really need to bail out AIG. That, you know, the details of the documents are not in the public domain yet, okay? But it is obvious that some senators have seen them because they are now making a very specific request. They're requesting 9 different documents by their numbers, okay? So they know that those documents exist. They know what's in the documents. And they're saying, look, you're keeping it secret, but no more. We can't vote on Bernanke until we find out what his role here was. So apparently the documents say that the Fed staff said we don't really need to bail out AIG, and certainly not at 100%, right? But Ben Bernanke overruled them and said, no, we're going to bail out all those guys and give them everything. Now, this was not just Ben Bernanke, also implicated apparently in these memos and these emails. Can you guess? Say it with me. Tim Geithner, the head of the New York Fed. Now, a different report on Goldman Sachs is saying that this is unbelievable, that Goldman Sachs went to AIG after the blow-up and said, you know what, you don't have to pay us 100 cents on the dollar. I know we got insurance from you guys on these toxic assets, but you know, you're bankrupt, and obviously you're not going to be able to pay us, and we're the ones that put together the assets in the first place. I don't know if they got into that level of detail, but they said, that's okay, we'll just take them back. We screwed up, we'll take them back. At least we'll get something out of it. Can you believe that? And then the New York Fed has hired a company, BlackRock, to come in and say, hey, how should we manage this? Then BlackRock says to the New York Fed, run by Tim Geithner, as a slideshow. Now that's in the record, okay? And the slideshow says, don't pay Goldman Sachs. Well, number one, they're offering to take their assets back and not get paid 100 cents on the dollar. Number two, you can save at least $3 billion. So there's no way you should pay them 100 cents on the dollar. Tim Geithner looks at that and says, nope, I'm going to pay them every penny of it. Even though that is not what they're worth on the open market. The guy I hired, the company I hired, very reputable, BlackRock, tells me I should pay them at least $3 billion less. Goldman Sachs is saying, don't pay me, okay? Now, they thought, well, my guess is they thought we couldn't possibly get paid on all this. Let's just limit our damages. Until Tim Geithner came to save the day, and Ben Bernanke came to save the day. And they made a decision at the New York Fed and at the Fed overall to say, no, we're paying all these guys 100 cents on the dollar. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Societe Generale, a French bank, all of them get all their money. Why? The American taxpayer, in their infinite generosity, is going to give it to them. That is beyond outrageous, man. They're going to vote on Bernanke in a couple of days. Now, look, there's no end to how craven the Democrats are. So is it possible that full well knowing that this thing's going to blow up, that they'll rush to vote, make sure that Wall Street gets their guy, and then afterwards have it blow up on them, have it be an absolute political disaster, where the Republicans say, hey, you know what? We voted against Bernanke. The Democrats are the ones that pushed him through. And look at what Bernanke did. He sold out the American taxpayer. Is that possible? Oh, absolutely possible. Because the Democrats are both craven in selling out to Wall Street and absolute morons politically. They're going to take the hit on this. McCain and the Republicans have flipped. They're like, oh, yeah, we're against Bernanke. Because they think he's going to pass. So, I mean, now the Republicans are back to playing politics well. You know, for a while they went off the rails, right? But remember, before they were geniuses at this thing. And they got every damn policy they wanted in the Bush administration with nowhere near 59 senators. They had 51 senators, 54 senators, and they got everything. Remember how good they were at getting their agenda passed? Now, those Republicans, unfortunately, appear to be back a little bit, okay? So they're outmaneuvering the hell out of the Democrats. Our only hope is that somehow this thing blows up before they take that vote, okay? They can't vote on Bernanke. He can't pass given these circumstances. If he does, it's a political disaster, and one that is well-earned. Because then if you come to me and say, hey, no, wait a minute, the Republicans voted the right way and the Democrats voted the right way. I'm sorry, the Democrats voted the wrong way. You will be right. You will be right. And then I don't care what their motives are. I care about the results and I care about the votes. If the Democrats push this past, Bernanke passed, to pay off their Wall Street friends, and the Republican Party is in opposition, well, then the Democrats are worse than the Republicans. On that issue, no ands, ifs, or buts. An absolute disaster.